to the White Rose Impact Fund. The White Rose Impact Fund is a return-first Central Pennsylvania venture fund, investing in the region's most ambitious entrepreneurs, led by the area's most forward-thinking institutions and investors. Backed by a consortium of regional foundations, banks, academic institutions, and health systems, the White Rose Impact Fund is accelerating innovation and growth across the entire business sector of the Susquehanna Valley. Today, we raise a $12 million fund with 12 companies and $7.1 million across them. And as Jay was alluding to, I've often been saying this lately, we have what I consider a uniquely central Pennsylvania fund. We have a deep tech application in Nocky Logics and Neural Earbud. We also have a hand-twisted pretzel company. That really does excite people in places like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, where you're seeing, I don't want to say a lot of the same companies, but they're more tech-focused, of course. Not that we don't have tech in this area, of course we do. We have a lot of other legacy industries that we can lean on as well. Venture capital is taking a beating in the media a little bit. A lot of it. It's usually all the negative things you hear about it. So if you want, we can go through what we're seeing as the great things in venture and the great things that are going on here in central Pennsylvania. Let's start with Athlon. Athlon is a youth fitness platform that gamifies movement and mental health through an augmented reality mobile app, Rally. Rally is becoming the next movement in learning. Get it? Movement, Over 8,000 plus students and teachers are showing the education community how to move the body while training the brain. Again, as Jay spoke to, Athlon is led by two incredible founders that came here to central Pennsylvania because they found business here in central Pennsylvania. Where's Matt and Christina? Right? Matt and Mr. Rally. How about a round of applause for Christina and Matt? Mr. Rally is what they call him, what the kids call him in school. Thank you so much. I was really proud of this investment, not just because of Christina and Matt, but also because it did bring together more formally for the first time Harrisburg University, CIE, and White Rose Ventures around one investment. They're at the CIE and just very fortunate to participate. Thank you guys. Next is Galleon. I am so excited about this too. Galleon Technologies conducts residential real estate transactions by removing legacy industry gatekeepers and leveraging decentralization and artificial intelligence. They offer a new marketplace model for selling unlisted properties, which bypasses traditional agents and allows buyers to access exclusive off-market inventory. I don't think Amanda is here. She had to drop out last minute, but Amanda Orson is the founder and CEO of Galleon. A graduate of the Citadel, she was most recently the CEO of Curve US Inc., leading both its US and crypto expansions. The reason why I love this coming together is Amanda, LinkedIn messaged me after we announced the Keystone Innovation Fund too, that we'll talk about later on LinkedIn. Never heard her, doesn't have a ton of connections here. That led to an investment in one of the coolest companies that I've seen. How about a round of applause for Galleon?
Proceed.
Next, the Pretzel Company. What? Where's Philip? I came. I was right there. Yep. The Pretzel Company, formerly York City Pretzel Company, is a York-based soft pretzel wholesaler and distributor. With customers all across the country, they are quickly becoming one of the top pretzel wholesalers in the country. We stepped our relationship up a notch a little bit this year and made a follow-on investment of $500,000 to help expand their production capacity to meet the demand that they were seeing. National Pretzel Company at the end of April brought in a record-breaking weekend with three consecutive record-breaking revenue days in a row. In addition to being featured on QVC, they are going live with William & Sonoma in June. We're thrilled to partner. Truly, we are thrilled to partner with the Pretzel Company. It's the type of business that can literally help define a city in a region. Speaking of companies that can define a region, Gilson Snow. Gilson is an American snowboard and ski manufacturer based in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. Gilson is the largest producer of custom snowboards and skis in the country. The company locally sources its hardwoods from sustainably harvested Pennsylvania poplar and states a commitment to responsible manufacturing. White Rose was fortunate to lead the round that is now oversubscribed, thanks to Nick, where he is. And, oh gosh, where was I? I got lost. And we brought investors from across the country, including a group of former Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas executives with the Oregon Sports Angels. Thanks to Scott for the connection there. It's funny, this group is in Oregon, and they're just surprised but happy. They're just like, how did we get all these investments in central Pennsylvania, all the way from Oregon? Well, you become known for, supporting businesses. And now you have a group that, again, was at the highest ranks of some of these companies and have been in snow sports or sports in general forever. Now part of the board of Gilson Snow. We were lucky to leave that round, like I said. And actually, let's give a round of applause for Nick Gilson first and Gilson Snow. What I was going to say next was I was also fortunate enough to be up at his new facility in March for the governor's visit. It was an incredible visit, but don't take my word for it.
All right, please join me in welcoming Governor Shapiro.
Thanks, Nick. Let me just start by saying this may be one of the coolest places I've ever been.
Our snowboards and skis are quite literally grown by the Pennsylvania sun. Soon, all of these machines will be powered by the same renewable resource.
Much like our poplar trees grow straight and tall into the sky, this company, Gilson, which relies on those poplar trees, they're growing straight and tall, and the sky is the limit.
Now the 800-pound gorillas that told us to get lost are copying us in more ways than one. They are infringing on our patents, and we don't care, because we are about to disrupt this industry once again and make their heads spin without setting foot in a courtroom. We know that if our competitors follow our lead, that's a good thing, because we are trailblazing a fundamentally better way of building business. We have eradicated overstock waste. Every single product we build has a home. We have created a fundamentally better customer experience, understanding that human beings are all different and should not be forced into a mass-produced box. We have pioneered an operating model that ties artists to the successes of their creations instead of paying them a flat rate and telling them to take a hike.
Doing interesting things with technology, doing interesting things with our natural resources. And the company he's built here at Gilson, these are the things that should inspire all of us every day. The incredible work they're doing, the smiles they put on people's faces, the pride they take in their craft, the way they got their butts knocked down and then they got right the hell back up and they were even stronger post-fire. This is really inspiring.
I'm deeply grateful for the Pennsylvania ecosystem we are so lucky to be a part of. Thank you all. This is just the start.
Great job, man.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Nick. Not to be outdone, Nokilogics is a revolutionary technology platform that transforms our inconspicuous microgestures into instant commands to control all devices where we live, work, and play. They are pioneering a human-machine interface solution that does not rely on brain implants. They, like Jay said, was a Time Magazine 2023 Invention of the Year. Seriously. And also won the prestigious Gold Edison Award in Social and Cultural Impact. At the award ceremony, Will Smith, a Black & Veatch employee who is a quadriplegic, drew a standing ovation after he showcased how he uses Nokia's neural earbud to type emails and shop on Amazon. Previously, he has also used Nokia to drive a power wheelchair. Quote, "I am always dreaming of new innovations, and then I discovered something truly revolutionary. The Nokia Neural Earbud. This simple device has given me a newfound sense of freedom. I can now control my computer, wheelchair, and other devices by simply making small head gestures and subtle facial movements like clenching my jaw, raising my eyebrows, and blinking. It's like a new superpower." Congratulations, Dave. These are the types of founders that came together for our Founders Dinner as well that I want to talk about. The Founders Dinner is meant to be a group that brings the investors and the founders together. I showed a slide about eliminating the friction here. It also, we don't have enough events where investors really do hear about how entrepreneurs are starting and growing businesses, the challenges that they are having, et cetera, et cetera. They're probably challenges that they experience as well in their careers. The amount of brain power that comes into that room is just crazy. And it was just a truly awesome event. How about a round of applause for the portfolio companies of Light Rays Ventures? In parallel, we've had a few things going on ourselves with White Rose Ventures. In May, I was fortunate enough to sit in this room and say that we had closed the $11.9 million White Rose Impact Fund. Thinking that it might be a slow summer, I got a call from Matt Rhodes. Matt Rhodes is the managing partner of 1855 Capital. We're co-investors in 3 companies and keep in touch a lot. Essentially, we've always talked about putting together a fund between White Rose and 1855 Capital, but as a lot of you know in the room, timing just doesn't work sometimes until it does. And it just happened to in June this past year we were speaking and we decided to embark on this. And oh, by the way, there's an EDA grant, Build to Scale grant that's due by the end of July. So we have to put this all together really and wrap it up by the end of then. It was kind of nice because it did force us to really move quickly. But it's stuff like that sometimes it just makes too much sense. And really putting together 2 organizations that were investing in the middle of the state just made a ton of sense in building a sustainable and durable venture firm moving forward. 1855 Capital, launched in 2018, or the Capital Fund 1 launched in 2018, targets substantial returns through investments in startups born from Penn State's robust research and entrepreneurship programs. Serving as a nexus within the Penn State Affinity Network, the fund leverages this collective to support and grow early-stage companies. It aims to foster the university's impact statewide and globally, promising both financial gains and broader economic development. Very similar to ours, a $12 million fund, 15 companies, 6.1 across them. Together with Ben Franklin Technology Partners of Northern and Central Pennsylvania, we are the management team for the Keystone Innovation Fund. In November, we were fortunate enough to announce that, with January bringing on 2 incredible new teammates, Dustin Betts, who will be our Director of Venture Operations, and Alec Galante as a partner on the fund. Together, we are the group that runs the Keystone Innovation Fund. Cool.
Thanks.
Backed by a collaboration between White Rose Ventures, 1855 Capital, and Ben Franklin, the $30 million Keystone Innovation Fund 2 is an early-stage venture fund investing in the brightest and most ambitious entrepreneurs across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I know what you're thinking. How is this funding going to be successful? I'll tell you right now. 1, this capital alliance will establish a powerful, lasting investment framework in a state deeply committed to innovation and entrepreneurship. It'll de-risk investments. Collaborating with Ben Franklin Technology Partners greatly lowers our investment risks. It gives White Rose Ventures an asymmetric edge in uncovering the best opportunities across the entire state. And what I'll say too is, anecdotally, Ben Franklin has been an incredible partner to not just White Rose, but 1855 Capital. It really, it's invaluable to have a partner that, again, can make an investment at the earliest stages and then let you know what companies are doing well. That kind of relationship, it really is truly invaluable to us because we can't always make the earliest investments in companies, but having someone like that at the table, not just with their expertise, but the support system there has just been incredible. Lastly, overlooked companies. The state's capital shortfall offers substantial advantages for investors at the initial stages. This situation provides White Rose Ventures with an exclusive chance to discover and invest in transformative companies that are undervalued, overlooked. There's just not enough investment in the state, and we are lucky to be chipping away at it. So what have we learned since we started this? 1, investors are starting to understand the potential. These companies are prime examples of investments that can deliver outstanding returns and catalyze economic development. Investment returns and economic development are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they help accelerate each other. Deal flow is accelerating. When a region becomes known as one that is accommodating to all types of entrepreneurs, more and more opportunities arise. Even companies that have been here the entire time now know that there is a pool of capital that they could go to help start or help grow their business. Private equity too, I will say. So obviously we're a venture firm right now, but the line between venture capital and private equity is blurry to begin with. And to be honest, being a pool of capital here, we've gotten a lot of deal flow from what are traditionally private equity type opportunities. I'll talk about it a little later, but as you can see in my verbiage, I'm starting to add private equity more to what we're doing because 1, they can be just as impactful opportunities here. And we're seeing too many companies being underfunded or leaving this area because they don't have the capital. Lastly, our story is traveling well so far. We've created a blueprint that is traveling across the state. This initiative isn't philanthropic or governmental. It's an investment-driven approach to enhance regional efforts statewide. Zooming out a little bit, I want to talk about the tailwinds we're seeing in venture capital. Obviously, after the downturn in 2022, capital is now starting to flow back into the industry in general. Investors are looking for ambitious entrepreneurs with much more of a sight of profitability. Profitability is a word that you're hearing way more, obviously, than you were 4 years ago in venture, and that's a good thing. Companies are sharpening their pencils, and so are investors. Next is the opportunity here in the state. Between the Commonwealth and Penn State University, there's a clear desire to accelerate the commercialization of IP and make the state competitive on a national scale. We want to be involved in making that happen. We're seeing so much more deal flow in private equity, like I said, and this is a state that continues to show us that it is underinvested, which is my next point. Underinvestment. Even in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, private business remains significantly underfunded. Despite the status of major cities, there's still a lack of investment in local businesses. I was in Pittsburgh recently, and I heard the statistic. In 2023, there's $3 billion of venture investment that went into the city of Pittsburgh. 98% of that capital were from investors outside of Pittsburgh, and of the remaining 2%, 1.5 or 75% of it was the local Ben Franklin chapter. So only 50 basis points of that $3 billion is from investors in Pittsburgh. You can't tell me that's not a huge opportunity here in the state. If there's anything you take from this meeting, I hope it's this. It is meaningless, in our opinion, to talk about innovation without addressing how we will invest in innovation. Innovation thrives on investment. Without it, ideas remain unrealized. We are here to make sure that doesn't happen. Let's zoom back in. I've had a lot of folks say to me, Martin, if you're going to go across the state, that means you're going to invest less in York. That is not true. As Matt Rhodes has said to me, probably more eloquently, venture is still a localized phenomenon. Localized venture capital drives regional growth by directly addressing unique market needs and opportunities. By investing locally, venture capitalists can cultivate stronger, more resilient economies, foster innovation, and create jobs. Mark Suster is the managing partner of Upfront Ventures in Los Angeles, talks about investing in lines, not dots. I think you can figure that out, but it's a creative way of saying that relationships matter, especially in venture. And that's why venture always starts on the local level. We were alluding to this earlier, but when you start initiatives like this, you end up becoming a lightning rod for all types of opportunities here. Areas putting money into venture capital tend to draw in a lot more projects, become hubs of activity and investment. This sets off a cycle of innovation and expansion that benefits the whole region. We started White Rose Ventures 4 years ago yesterday. We could have never thought of all the opportunities that will arise, and you haven't even heard from Ian Kansky yet. Value will accrue to Central Pennsylvania. Regions that focus on venture capital see value accruing over time, benefiting the area in the long term. This steady growth builds a stronger, more sustainable local economy. Connecting the success of a company to the success of a community can boost the business reputation of an entire region. I brought up this slide last time because even though you might think, okay, we can't really do all this, I'm telling you, we are starting something here, and whether you want to, I'm not saying you, whether the community wants to believe it or not, there are other people that are believing in it. That's why they put us on the front of their book, describing how to invest in areas like York. Thank you. I like it. Also, as Matt Rhodes has said to me, I'll have to get you on tape sometimes, Matt, venture is America's business laboratory. It brings investment and it brings excitement, and that's why we knew we had to revive an event where entrepreneurs can get together and talk about their journeys while getting candid feedback. We are missing two very special people tonight. The first one I'll speak to has turned herself into, quite literally, the face of Keystone Merge. Her name is Helen Tafasa, but like most superstars, she really just goes by Helen. And also, like most superstars, she had other commitments tonight. I think she's traveling, I think. But anyway, the next best thing to capture her speaking to the program and the impact it's having in helping entrepreneurs is this video. Thank you to Austin Gingrich and Silo Creative for the video that you are about to enjoy.
My name is Helen Tafasa, and I am the Entrepreneur Liaison for Keystone Merge. Keystone Merge is a in-person event that happens on the first Thursday of every month. We bring entrepreneurs in, and they give a 10-minute presentation about their ventures that they are founders or co-founders of. That's followed by a 10-minute Q&A where people can give feedback and suggestions on problems and challenges that they're facing. And that is also followed by networking, food, and drinks. Partnering with local organizations helps us to build familiarity with resources that people have where they live. We have the Grotto Community Center in York, we have the Candy Factory in Lancaster, and Pursuit Co-working in Harrisburg. Rotating through them has helped us build more of a relationship with each of those venues, but it also helps to solidify them in the minds of people in that area. The coolest thing to me about being in a room of entrepreneurs and feeling the energy during presentations, during the Q&A, is how personal it usually gets if everyone is giving permission for that to happen. Obviously, depending on your field, you might want more tactical answers or more practical things, but there are times where entrepreneurs who are so used to going, let their guard down and the room becomes very human. And I think that's one of the most important things that we can give entrepreneurs in times like these. If you are considering presenting at Keystone Merge, but you maybe feel a little hesitant, first just know that you're not alone in that, and also know that most people who do it end up loving the experience. They make connections that they find are really valuable. And you also then are in the Keystone Merge history for people who are looking around for other entrepreneurs or ventures to invest into. Even if you don't have a huge business, or you're just considering starting something, or maybe even just like being around other people who are busy doing something, that's kind of our goal, is to get them all in the same room. There is definitely a sense of community and support that you get from experiencing that. If you've never been to a Keystone Merge, then I would definitely encourage you to attend at least one in person. You can also find them on our website, keystonemerge.com, on our blog page. But whether you attend in person or online, you'll see that Keystone Merge is definitely about community, and our community is not complete if you are not there.